This is a painting by Luigi Marzelli. It depicts a grassy landscape with the Alpine mountains looming in the distance. Its command of color and scale is striking. These were the very things that made Luigi's art famous, after all. Except they weren't, because Luigi Marzelli is a made-up painter, and this image was generated by AI. Advancement in AI has sent shockwaves throughout all of our society. This new technology threatens to upend the way we humans live and work to such an extent unseen since the industrial and computer revolutions, if not more so. But in contrast with these past technological revolutions, which rendered many professions obsolete, the AI revolution supposedly threatens the very necessity of human creativity, or so they say. AI art has made significant strides since the Uncanny Valley, creepypasta-worthy generations it was exclusively capable of just a few years ago. Today, some AI art has become nearly impossible to distinguish from art made by humans. And it isn't only visual art that AI has grown increasingly good at. Poetry, music, storytelling, hell, even erotica. Any art that you can think of that humans have been creating for centuries, AI can do to a proficient enough level that it becomes nearly indistinguishable from its man-made counterparts. These developments have led some to go as far as to claim that artificial intelligence is killing art, making human works completely obsolete. But how true is this? Is AI killing art? Well, before we can answer that, we need to find out what it even means to kill art. Can such a thing even be done? And before we can answer that question, we need to answer yet another one. What makes art art? At first, it seems like a silly question. I mean, surely we can all tell when we're looking at art, or listening to it, or reading it. Art is a very general term. I mean, the acts of playing the trumpet and painting the Sistine Chapel from an alien observer would seem two very drastically different feats in execution, method, scale, but we call both of these things art, so what makes them that? In Sulawesi, Indonesia, the earliest dated cave paintings can be found, mostly consisting of simple hand silhouettes. What reason did early humans have to leave these markings? I mean, at a time when life consisted of hunting and gathering and fighting for every second of existence, 28,000 years before agriculture, why leave drawings on the wall of a cave? Is this the earliest example of art? There are many theories as to why these drawings came about. One of the most popular, and one that I personally subscribe to, is that they were simply a statement of existence. I was here. Though I would argue that this wording succumbs to a bias that we present humans often fall into, assuming that everyone in the past was thinking about us. I believe a more accurate summation would be, I am here. So is that it? Is art just a statement of existence? Maybe. Let's keep digging. November 16th, 2020, a date which will live in infamy for all of eternity as the day Grubhub released the Delivery Dance commercial. A commercial that received so much hate and backlash, you would think it personally insulted every single person who watched it. YouTube no longer publicly shows dislikes, but if this view-to-like ratio is any indicator, this commercial was and is despised. This is perhaps the most infamous example of the trend of corporate art. Art which is said to be soulless, heartless, empty, made with the sole intention of generating revenue. Incidentally, many of these adjectives are also used by critics of AI art. Soulless, heartless, empty, bad. What makes art bad? I mean, clearly this is bad art, but what makes it that? Mark Rothko was a controversial painter in his time, and still is today. A leading figure in the abstract expressionist movement of the mid-20th century, most of his paintings consisted of just squares and rectangles with no obvious purpose. Many called his work meaningless, ugly, devoid of heart. Throughout his life, his paintings would get darker, literally. Less bright. The vivid yellows would give way to deep maroons and all-consuming black. until on February 25th, 1970, on the very day the largest exhibit of Rothko paintings was to be opened, he was found dead. His wrists bloodied, laying in a puddle of blood that is said to be the same size as one of his paintings. Mark Rothko is a very interesting painter, and it's worth learning more about him. I'll leave some links in the description to some sources, as well as a very well-written play by John Legend. Contemporary art is also often slapped with this label of bad. I mean, take for example this pile of candy. This is art? Of course not. It's stupid, it's pointless, it's devoid of meaning. Or is it? You see, Felix Gonzalez Torres, the artist behind this work, titled Untitled Portrait of Ross in L.A., made the sculpture to represent his partner who died of AIDS. You see, patrons are allowed to take candy from the pile, so over time it withers away until inevitably there is nothing left, mirroring the withering of Ross, Felix's partner. So what gives? The closer we look at these bad works of art, the less pointless they become. Does this mean that if we do the same thing to this commercial, we'll find out that it's secretly a revolutionary work of social commentary? Well, as far as I can tell, no. It really was just made to get people to download Grubhub. It's not saying anything. It's not expressing anything. That's it. It's been right in front of us the whole time. Art is expression. Expression of human feeling, of our deepest, darkest insecurities and our greatest loves, or even simpler but equally human emotions. That's what this commercial lacks. It's not expressing anything other than maybe a vague testament to greed. That's why AI art is so bad. It's not expressing anything. It's just simulating what human art looks like without any of the meaning or intention. So that's it. AI art is killing art. Or is it? Imagine for me, please, that you've just lost a loved one. It's a pain that we've all had to experience and inevitably will experience. Imagine describing the feelings that come with that grief, the pain, the heartache, the shadow of what was, lingering on, so tantalizingly real but demoralizingly fake. Pain, darkness, love. Now imagine you plug all of that into an AI art generator and out comes this. Is this art? I mean, it was created by an algorithm, one not capable of expression on its own, but was it not made to express the overwhelming feelings of grief? Is not all AI art the result of human input and therefore an example of human expression? And if so, how can we claim that AI is killing art? I mean, hell, the invention of digital art didn't take away from the majesty of painting. Making expression more accessible doesn't make more technical forms of art less impressive or valuable. Their meaning doesn't solely come from their beauty, but also from the skills and time that went into them, something that can never be taken away. So why do we feel AI is killing art? How come every time we see an AI-generated work, we raise our pitchforks and torches and demand it burns? I think the answer is obvious. It takes artists' jobs. I mean, why hire an animator when an AI can do their job in a fraction of a second at no cost? It makes human work unnecessary to generating a profit. But wait a second. Doesn't that imply that artists are just making art to get paid? Isn't that why we said that this corporate cartoon was bad art? Yes. Now let me be clear, I am not blaming artists. People in our modern society need money to survive. I mean, me for example, I'm making this video because I care, but it's also monetized, and I do hope to make some money for my work. And this brings me to the title of this video. I apologize for the hyperbole of it. I don't actually believe art is dead, but I do think as long as we live in a system that encourages, if not necessitates, the creation of art for the purpose of making money, it is diminished. I mean, hell, most artists, if they couldn't make money off of their work, just couldn't make art at all. And now we face a new technology that threatens to take even that away, to create a world where art is impossible to make, crushed by poverty, desperation, and greed. I don't have an easy answer to give you. This is the inevitable result of the system we live in, a system that demands profit and exponential growth, a system that we're told we can't question, that it's the only way. But let's do the impossible for just a second. Let's just close our eyes and imagine. Imagine a world where technological advancements were used to reduce human suffering and not for the extraction of profit. Imagine a world where no one had to waste away their whole life just to make ends meet, left exhausted and hungry while the few enjoy lavish lifestyles. A world where everyone gets enough and they can spend their free time making art. Real art. Art for the purpose of expression and not money. Imagine sitting at a park listening to a guitar. A guitar being played simply because its player wants to play it. There's no hat turned over for coins. They don't need it. Now open your eyes and see the world we live in. The systemic poverty, the soul-crushing work, the death of art, and ask yourself, is this how it has to be? I'm James D. Thank you for watching.